Ukraine's president has accused Russia of an open act of terrorism after a missile strike on a city close to the capital, Kiev. 23 people, including 3 children, were killed in Vinnytsia. It's a city that's far from the front line of the Donbass. Now, the moment that the missiles hit the central square was captured, as you can see here, on a security camera. People are blown off their feet by the blast wave caused by those missiles striking the ground and then run for cover wherever they can. You can see a dog running away there for safety. Well, I'm joined now by one of President Zelensky's advisors, that Ihor Zovka. Mr. Zovka, thank you very much for being with us here on Sky News, and good morning to you. Let's just pick up on the strike on Vinnytsia. Can you tell us the latest situation in that city? How are people after that missile attack?
Well, today is the day of mourning in this city and in this region. There are still many casualties. More than 70 people are still in hospitals. 11 bodies are yet to be identified, including 2 children. 18 people are missing, and the rescue operation is going on at the site of this terrible blast. But really, I mean, it's unbelievable. Each time it happens in the civilian city, where there were no military people, no military objects. This was the central square of this city, with lots of civilian buildings, a cultural center, a diagnostic center. So nothing to do with equipment, military installment. And each time it's happening in Ukraine, and unfortunately it happens practically, if not every day, but every week, this severe blast. And yeah, right you are. My president, when speaking yesterday at the conference in The Hague, devoted to bringing Russia to justice, to accountability. And at the same time, when this conference was taking place, this terrible attack took place as well. So he called this an act of terrorism, and he urged the countries of the world to recognize Russia as a country sponsoring terrorism.
Of course, investigations continue to these kinds of incidents, and I presume that this one will be put forward as another example of a war crime.
Yeah. I mean, every person who is responsible for this blast, for the person who was pushing the button, and we already know that there was caliber missiles fired from the submarine in the equatorial of the Black Sea. Every person responsible for planning and executing this operation will be definitely brought to justice.
And how is the fight going on the front line in the Donbass at the moment? Obviously, we saw Ukrainian troops falling back from some of those positions a week or so ago. Can you tell us what the latest is in and around the Donbass and the fight now, which is for Luhansk?
Well, the Russians are trying to capture the whole territory of Lugansk region and the whole territory of Donetsk region, but they are failing. They have not captured all the territory of Lugansk region, though major part is really controlled by them. They are trying to make advances around some cities in Lugansk region and Donetsk region, but Ukrainian armed forces are withstanding those attacks. The problem is that Russians are outnumbering Ukraine in everything. They are in man personnel, in equipment and artillery. Sometimes the numbers are very huge. So we badly need the artillery systems there, the MLRS, the armored vehicles, as well as the same we need in the south of Ukraine, because the south of Ukraine is occupied, and it can be deoccupied, provided that we got enough military equipment from our partners. So each and every day, my president urges the foreign leaders, when he talks to them or when they are coming to Kyiv, to deliver to Ukraine more heavy weapon.
And you say that message is put forward every single day. Is that message being received? Are you getting, at this stage in the war, enough support?
Well, if we had enough support, we have already started the counteroffensive, liberating the areas of Ukraine which are now captured by Russians. No, not enough for today, though the dynamics is positive. The number of weapons delivered is higher than we used to have in the beginning of this open war. Those Ramstein meetings, 3 of them, are also positive. Some partners which haven't delivered the weapons started to deliver this weapon. So again, the tempo, the speed of this delivery is what really matters.
And I don't want to get into the strategy too much, but there was some reporting a few days ago about the Ukrainian armed forces trying to put 1 million men into the battle. Can you tell us any more about that and this idea that there may well be a huge counterattack coming?
I won't tell you the exact number. First of all, I'm not involved in this. I'm not a military responsible person, but I would say that Ukraine has enough manpower to not only to defend its territory, but to liberate its territory. And this is the task which really is ahead of all the armed forces of Ukraine. But in order to start these real operations, we need weapon, and weapon.
Absolutely. OK. And Ihor, let's talk about grain then. We saw that there were some moves made in the week. Apparently an agreement has been made to get some of that grain out of the southern port city of Odessa. Where are we with that right now?
Well, after that meeting, and you well heard that this meeting is not the final one, there is a slight, very small optimism. So the progress is to be shown. I think that there is sometime need to get the final agreement, and that's where the UN and Secretary General of UN is working on. Again, Ukraine offers everything it can in this situation. We offer our grain, we offer our ports. Several ports can be offered to start export the grain, but the time is running out. Today is the middle of July, and we still haven't managed to export major of our crops from the last year. But the next harvesting campaign is already starting, so we will need to have it quickly to provide the countries with our grain, to empty our elevator storages for the new harvest. So time is running out.
Last one, Ihor, and quickly if you can. What has given you the optimism? Is it the fact that there's been perhaps a change in position from the Russians? What can you tell us?
Well, optimism is given to Ukraine by Ukrainians themselves. We are ready to fight, and we will definitely liberate our territory, and we will definitely have the victory. And definitely the support of the international community is also inspires us.